family, welcome to WrestleMania 38 results official review for day 2, and we're just trying to grasp what happened. Another 4 hours of WrestleMania. Like Jean Paul always says, really long entrances. This easily could be cut maybe 3 hours. It would have been much more watchable. They do a lot of things that maybe are unnecessary, but Jean Paul already predicted Roman Reigns is the unified WWE Universal World Heavyweight Champion. And are we happy? We all kind of knew what was going to happen. So, Jean Paul, I got to give claps to Jean Paul. But, I'm not that happy. But anyway, Paul.
No, this show right here, definitely not as good as night one. I feel like we can say that right off the bat. The show started off, the first how many matches weren't very good. We got an all right women's tag match, but again, it was too many people. Nobody really cared. Edge and AJ Styles was good, but we're going to talk about it in a little bit. Maybe not as good as we were expecting, or as we don't know. But it just overall, and then the main event. We're going to touch on the main event. We'll save that actually for the main event. But I mean, man, it just felt disappointing after night one, which we said was a pleasant surprise. It was a pretty good. So.
Yeah, exactly.
WrestleMania, a mixed bag, I would say, for me.
I would say overall, I give the passing rate just because of the night one was a lot better. This one was, for a lot of people, it was more entertaining than anything. If you look for professional wrestling, pure on that, WrestleMania is not your thing. If you want celebrities, other kind of stuff, then the WrestleMania fits your cup of tea. Don't forget to watch my family WrestleMania Night 1 review right here in the channel with Stone Cold Steve Austin fighting Kevin Owens, no holds barred. Great, thank you for everybody that watched, everybody that commented. We really love you, appreciate you. Don't forget to keep watching. And this night started out with Jean Paul Lebec, not Jean Paul Egg, like Jean Paul Egg is with me. And Triple H comes out. He just thanked everybody for all the love support they gave him, because last week he actually revealed that he was gonna be done with his in-ring career, and he just did the right thing, old school way. Put the boots right there, the microphone. Welcome to WrestleMania, Paul. Thank you, Hunter, Chance. I'm a little sad, but Triple H has given so many things to the WWE, to the wrestling world. So, hey, if he has to step away like this, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I like how this started off night 2. It wasn't bowed down to the king. It was the game, came out. The legit theme song. And some people might be like, man, they milked it. This took forever. But, hey, this is all the guy has left anymore is his entrance. That's all he can do. He can't wrestle anymore. It sucks. So give him as much time as he needed. This was a great way to kick off, WrestleMania Night 2. I respect Triple H, everything, that he's done for the business, the good, and the bad. You got to respect
that the Booker T thing, the bad, yeah.
Yeah, but, hey, it sucks that this, his send-off wasn't in a match, retirement match or anything. But this was great. And unfortunately, from here, downhill.
Oh yeah, then from here, and it never picked up for us. At least, like you said, for both of us, it started out just to my mediocre to boring a little bit. Let's start with the tag team championships, triple threat match. RK Bros and the Alpha Academy, the Street Profits. The match itself, not bad.
I just have one complaint. So we saw the match on Stand and Deliver was the exact same match, triple threat tag team match, and I said it was good. All three guys had one member of their team all three teams had one guy in the match. It made sense. Here it was, one team just stood on the outside, and then it was only two guys in the ring at one time.
Why can't they do that?
Yeah, I'm like, but that's that's so stupid. Why not have one of each guy in the ring? It would make the match better. This was dumb. Alpha Academy, I liked them at first. Then they became jokes, and they're not going to push them legit the way that they treat Chad Gable.
Yeah, no, Chad Gable is the one that they love to just make fun of.
They're not going to push
Otis is at
legit.
Least semi-decent. Yes.
Otis they'll push when he goes in a singles run. Until then, garbage. The Street Profits are good. We said that, but they didn't change. They have to evolve. They're still just the same characters. It's the same shit we see each and every week
from 2 years already.
Yeah, and they're not they're not any better in the ring. Again, still good. Can't take anything away from them. But what do we see? The champs retain. Nobody. It wasn't exciting.
Super RKO for Matt Riddle. Super RKO for Randy Orton. They retain. And when this is ending like that, I'm okay. I'm I wasn't expecting anything from it. Randy Orton.
to me, it just goes to show that they start both WrestleManias with the tag team championship matches. Excuse me, because they don't care. They're like, throw the shit we care the least about, on the first match.
And up to this, I don't mind it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you, I don't mind it. But like when they get like Gabe Stevenson or Gabe Steve, whatever.
Yeah, why do they push this unless he needs to start wrestling on today actually, because we're after midnight?
Yes.
Or this guy's already has heat with me. They keep pushing him down your throat. For months.
It's worse than Kurt Angle. It's worse than Kurt Angle at the beginning. Yes,
and then, it's like, let's see this guy actually kick someone's ass. Yeah, but then Gable gets in his face, and then he suplexes Gable and everything. And I mean, to me, I don't think anybody cared.
And no, this is for me is unnecessary. So that's what I mean. This is, for example, like the stuff that we complain about AEW. We gotta complain the same thing here too, because it's like the guy is not even friends with like the Street Profits, friends with like the Arcade Bros. What are they celebrating? So I don't care. This was unnecessary. They should have ended like this. The two champs. Why the Street Profits all of a sudden we're all friends here? Are we fighting for a title here? I didn't like that. That's what I'm gonna give it like. Yep, I don't like that at all. So Paul, let's go with like the next match, and this is something that like we really didn't have any high hopes. This was put together pretty much like on the Go Home show for Monday Night Raw, and this was also Omos and Bobby Lashley. He was able to return on time for like this match, but like a year ago, Bobby Lashley was the WWE champion, so the war wasn't expecting anything. But at least they kept it in Bobby Lashley having a good performance. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I didn't really know. It's like, because they're such, they push Bobby Lashley and they treated him so good recently. You think, is that going to continue, or is he going to do the job for Omos? Because they've been pushing Omos.
Yes.
But in this match, I mean, it really looked like Omos was going to be the guy. He was strong, but Lashley, he was trying to suplex him. That was the thing. Could he actually suplex him? No, he couldn't at first. And, this match wasn't very long, and we're not going to spend much time on it. But eventually, he hit the suplex. Oh, my God. And then, Lashley, he's able to get the win. And you think, to me, I was actually surprised that Lashley got the win. I mean, I'm fine that he did. Obviously, to me, that's great. Hopefully, that means he's now going to go after our unified champion.
Yes,
that would be great to see.
Yes,
but this match shouldn't have been done to begin with, because anybody who lost really didn't benefit. Almost doesn't benefit.
Nope, not at all.
He's not a good wrestler. His character is not over. The only thing that was over about him was he was giant and he was undefeated. Now that he was undefeated, it's like, well, we've seen giants before, so.
Oh yeah, no, it's true. So I mean, at least Bobby Lashley get the win. That we were happy about.
Yeah, that's good for Lashley. So
exactly, because like he was able to return on time. Maybe he was going to be involved in the championship match. Maybe there's a maybe, but like he got injured really before the Elimination Chamber. But at least he is back, and like you said, maybe he can go against the new unified champion. So that will be good. This is something that like if you love pro wrestling, pure pro wrestling, you're not going to be a fan of. I already seen a lot of people that are shitting on it. But if you love entertainment, hey, you can have some like aspects of it, like being semi, cool, or like at least entertaining, fun. Johnny Knoxville against Sami Zayn. I said to Paul in the text, Sami Zayn doesn't care to be, a wrestler anymore because he does the job. Probably he got paid a lot of money for this. But the match, pretty much was like a no holds bar. Everything counts. Like they have like toys, kind of like a hardcore match, right? But more comedic than anything. Added more like fun aspects. The party boy was right here. We got to see also like we saw Pepe women. And so what did you think? I mean, Paul, you love pro wrestling. I mean, there were parts that you kind of like enjoyed. I'm not saying you love it.
I knew this match was going to be shit. The reason I just don't like these is the show is already 8 hours long over the span of 2 days.
Yes.
And we have to sit through so much. If the show was only 4 hours long and it was one day and this match was on there, and it maybe wasn't as long, I'd be like, whatever. You do the one joke match, you got to include it for everybody. Hey, whatever. But we already had to sit through so much, and this match was way too long. I mean, when Wee Man suplexed him, that was funny.
Yeah.
To see that.
The big hand was funny too.
And then, the hand, it popped me because they had a good camera angle. You couldn't see it. But I mean, look at Johnny Knoxville. He looks like a crack addict. I mean, he looks like a clown. And I mean, it just went way too long, the suplexing, Johnny Knoxville went through the table, then Sami Zayn went through this table, but they had a mouse traps on it, and eventually they had a giant mouse trap that they pinned him with. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the match, it was what it was. It wasn't even a match. It was just like a Jackass meets wrestling for however long.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, Sami Zayn, they probably paid him a good amount of money in the contract, and they said, "Hey, you're going to do this, and here's the bonus for it." And he goes, "All right, yeah, the bonus looks pretty good. I'll take it."
Yeah, and and he gets like the yeah, because like I mean they did it like I said to you, like this is for people that just think as WrestleMania like as extravaganza. This is not anything indicated for like professional wrestling. Jack and Johnny Knoxville, like you said, this you said it the best way. Corny also said it 20 years ago. That's when Jackass was like to the moon because this Jackass Forever, nobody's really interested in seeing this. But hey, you know what? They had the contract. Who's to say anything? They won. Johnny Knoxville gets the win. Do we really care? Not too much. Sami Zayn,
No.
like again, got paid probably really good money. Tell me a little bit about the tag team championship match for the girls. Fatal 4-way. This was okay. Now I want to say pretty decent. But I mean, new champs, and we knew that Sasha Banks and Naomi had like more chances to become champs. I would have wanted maybe Liv and also Rhea Ripley, but Rhea was just champs with Nikki ASH. So tell me a little bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I like the team. Either of those two babyface teams, Sasha and Naomi, or Rhea and Liv. I mean, Natty and Shayna are cool, but so many of these teams I feel are just thrown together. At least, at least Sasha and Naomi have history.
Let's get it over with.
And yeah, and this just took so long, and the whole Carmella thing, everything else, and
the Corey Graves, the calling of the match was terrible,
like I said, I didn't care about this. You see this exact same match on Monday Night Raw, and now we see it on WrestleMania, and no offense to any of these women, I'm not saying none of them deserve to be on the show, but I mean, man, we just saw Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair have the best women's match, probably the second best match of WrestleMania.
Yeah, on the entire WrestleMania, yes.
Yeah, and these women were supposed to follow it in a clusterfuck match like this. No way. Yeah, so,
yeah, and it was.
I'm fine. Just my closing thoughts, and you can wrap it up, and we'll move on. I'm fine with the winners. It's cool for Sasha Banks, and I mean, maybe that'll play out for a return of Bayley. Maybe she'll come and screw that team out of the championships or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. Like I'm thinking now that you bring that point up, Bayley and Asuka are clear to compete, but probably hey, they're gonna come back either tomorrow, one of them, and the other one maybe on SmackDown. But there you go. At least we're gonna have these girls, and you know what? It would have been really cool. They get the win, and Bayley and Asuka come out, and it's like, oh, we're a tag team now. We're going after you. That would have been, at least for me, a little bit better. But hey, Sasha Banks, Naomi. Sasha is just like here floating, just because like she was supposed to get that spot with Charlotte, Adam in the main event. But unfortunately, Ronda Rousey decided to come back, so they put Sasha over here. Hey, they get a decent match. They get a win. There you go. It's good for them. What are you gonna do? So now, Mupo, let's go to Edge and AJ Styles. A lot of people thinking it's going to be a dream match. We all wanted to see it. AJ wanted the match. Edge wanted the match. Edge had to turn heel to kind of be and then change the story here. He goes like this. The entrance pretty cool. Pretty cool. I will say that. And what did you think of the match? Because for me, it never picked up. It was never like, I don't know, it's this chemistry thing, but like it never felt like that it was going at a good pace for me. It was just slow. Maybe because AJ got injured before the match even started.
I was gonna say, I don't know if AJ is because he hit his head on the star coming out or something, or what it was, but no. I mean, remember the thing? This match was by no means bad. I thought it was good, but it had that pacing where you go, okay, this thing's gonna pick up. This thing's gonna pick up. And it never did. It was like it was about to hit that that next gear and turn on, and it didn't.
Yes.
And I don't know what it is because I know both guys can go, and I think maybe it's because a couple of these matches I don't think were ends of feuds. Maybe they were beginnings or middles of feuds. This is something, but especially with what we saw, how this match ended. Maybe there's going to be another match. WrestleMania Backlash is coming up. SummerSlam's not too far away. You can do rematches. So, I'm not saying these guys were like, oh, let's put on a shitty match at WrestleMania. And again, not saying this match was bad, but, they can build off it, keep it more exciting. Maybe
it was a big of a disappointment. I'll say that. It wasn't too great. It was disappointing. That's why I'm putting the gas, because it was like whatever that we thought it was going to be, it wasn't. So, and the only thing like that to mention here is that Damian Priest came out. So he's actually helped Edge to distract the ref and everything. He was able to get the win. But like there were a lot of reports that Edge is gonna get his own stable. He's gonna get maybe like a new version of the Brood, like you said. So right here, like he held out.
AJ was kind of set up for the phenomenal forearm. And like I said, he caught him in the calf crusher, and it was okay. It was good, but like no, Edge got out, or did he get out, or was it a rope break?
No, well, it was a rope break. Yeah, no pun intended. No pun intended.
Yeah. And then AJ, sets up phenomenal forearm. You say okay, but then Damian Priest is there. That was the distraction. Then Edge hits the spear. And it was okay. The spear in midair is cool, but it was just, I don't know. It never had that. And maybe it's just and I'm again not insulting these guys because of their age, but that Cody and Seth Rollins match was just, that was great.
Good, yeah, and that's how this one, we thought that this one was gonna be as good, and it never it stayed in like the third, fourth year, but never went to like fifth. And the one thing is like also Damian Priest, remember he was gonna fight Balor maybe for the United States Championship. What is I want to ask you very quick, how do you feel that like the other titles of importance in the singles division, the United States Championship and the Intercontinental, they were not even defended?
Well, why did we didn't have to have this women's tag match? I know, I'm sorry. Or if you're gonna have it, at least just have one-on-one. Save some time, make it shorter. You didn't need the Sami Zayn match. That can be gone. You didn't need Omos and Bobby Lashley. I'm sorry, that could have been gone. There's lots of matches you could have got rid of to feature these other matches. So I agree.
And no, this one is for the one that we're gonna talk about right now. Is this one should have never even happened because it was that quick. It was not worth it.
Yes.
So in the point of the card, the way of the booking is you need to if you make me believe that Roman Reigns is the unified world heavyweight champion, is that important? It's a little bit less, but they should have some kind of importance, Finn Balor and Ricochet, because otherwise I'm just carrying a prop. I'm just carrying a prop. It doesn't make it. It doesn't have any value. So you can go and Paul, here it is.
Speaking of things that don't have any value, what was on next?
Yeah, there you go. Here, this was supposed to be 3 against 3, but thanks to Rich Holland, because he was the one that injured Big E. Again, he could have done the same thing to Johnny Gargano, but thankfully Johnny wasn't he didn't get injured on that. But this match was absolutely just 5 seconds. It was just a clusterfuck. It was just awful. And I feel bad for Sheamus out of all of them, and knowing for Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne looks like a freaking idiot, and to see him going from the Bruiserweight to this is really, really sad.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just give it a really big gasp.
I feel bad
how bad it was.
I feel bad for Pete Dunne for that, but if anything, one, this match shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And two, I feel bad for the New Day. It's okay, this guy almost kills Big E. And then they get a win at WrestleMania. I thought, okay, you're going to do this match. They're going to squash them. They're going to beat Rich Holland in 3 minutes because that will be a feel-good moment for the fans. But no, then they win.
Yeah.
And the fans were like, well, what the fuck was this?
Yeah, exactly.
So this was stupid.
It was just bad. And like I said to you, they get the win. And, like I said, Pete Dunne looks like a freaking idiot with this new Butch thing. Poor Pete Dunne. I feel really bad for him. Absolutely terrible. This, like you said, that's what 10-15 minutes because of entrances and everything combined, they could have easily got rid of. They were cut last night. It should have just been cut from the card and all. Let's go to this one. This was actually okay. A great showing by Pat McAfee. We saw him on NXT TakeOver against with Adam Cole. Yeah, and then we had they played the Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. That was really cool, and like I said, one great showing from Pat McAfee. He proved that he wants to be a wrestler. The only thing Paul says is can you get some gear, not just fight you're going to the store to get a 6-pack or something. But other than that, Vince was ringside. He did a really good move. Some Austin Theory sold for him. This was I really like because they went to that. They also got the headset, kind of like The Rock will do back in the day. I'll talk a little bit, and then he smashes something on Austin Theory. But tell me, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, this match was great, and they proved that they can get the crowd into it because the crowd was, and they didn't do anything too crazy, too flashy. They were up on the top on the turnbuckle, and he threw Pat McAfee down, but McAfee did a flip, landed on his feet, shook his head no, you didn't get me, boy. He jumped back on top, jumped right up on the second rope, grabbed him, did a superplex, and the place exploded with a superplex. You see a superplex, every other move on AEW, and people, they kind of pop, but not really. Here, the place exploded. They thought McAfee was going to win. He didn't. Austin Theory kicked out, And I mean, the match. I mean, what did you think? I enjoyed it, and I love
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good.
I love
McAfee,
I love Vince
McAfee
McMahon.
sells.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, Vince McMahon is like, finish him. He picks him up. He's gonna hit the ATL, but then McAfee kind of just drops down, rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. He gets the win, and I love the look of disappointed Vince. Like, okay, it's time.
So and then yeah, exactly. And then we thought it's the end of it.
Yeah,
we're getting ready for Roman and Brock.
This was only halfway. This thing was only half over. So
yeah, look, the old man is out of match.
Vince gets in his face. He starts teasing, taking off the shirt. Won't he? Will he? He does. He gets in the ring, and then Austin Theory attacks him from behind. Then he starts selling for Vince. Clothesline. Vince throws him in the turnbuckle. They keep teasing him. Obviously, he's selling for the old man. They're beating him up. They post him, nut shot onto McAfee. They completely embarrass him. Whatever.
Yeah,
then they're like, all right, now it's, Vince then pins him because it's a match. 1, 2, 3. So Vince gets the win at WrestleMania. So it's like, oh my God, Vince did have a match with Pat McAfee.
Yes.
And he did win. So that
and they deliver. Yeah.
And, you think, okay, man, there's only one thing that can save this. Who can defeat the evil Vince McMahon?
Exactly.
Will he do it like he did 25 years ago? Yes, he will. Glass shatters. Out comes Stone Cold. And, I mean, this was... What did you think of this? He stunners Theory. Austin Theory sells it like The Rock or like the great...
But even better, even like a tribute to Scott Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, like so they're like Chico. Yeah. And, then he gets in Vince's face, and Vince is like, hey, how about we share a beer? Let's be legit. Let's not be bullshit. So they share a beer, and then he goes to get, a stunner's coming, and he barely touches Vince, I think, with this kick, and Vince stumbles over like he just got shot with a shotgun, and he falls into the ropes, but then he hits him with a stunner. And Stone Cold is laughing his ass off at this. But, I mean, you got to give Vince credit for at least taking the stunner, I guess.
Yes.
And, then he summons McAfee back in. Him and McAfee drink some beers. He stunners McAfee for a joke. DTA, don't trust anybody. And the crowd was loving this. Stone Cold, he must have drank like 6 beers, or at least like 10 beers, but like half of them, and this was great. The crowd loved it. The only thing is, you should have had a match after this, because what do we always say? When the crowd is so hot, the next segment, it don't matter what they are, they're dead. Well, we're not even end it, but have a match on that the crowd can be like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then
for me, it should have been just over. I was done. I wanted because.
Well, yeah, because it was too long. Because there was the other bullshit, but you knew after how excited the crowd was for this, there's no way they were going to be as hot for the main event.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if it is the main event or anything, but like you said, what did we see here? We saw everybody even saying that we're going back 20 years in the past. We saw Stone Cold Steve Austin. There was a big brawl. There was somebody being attacked, being just crushed, and then Stone Cold came out, saves the day. Everybody goes home happy. So I feel that they trying to recreate that, and it was cool. Stone Cold was having the time of his life. McAfee was really also good. Vince McMahon, Austin Theory, everybody that participated actually gave a really cool moment. Even here, he kept drinking the Steve Weisers. But like you said, after this, how can you top this? How do you move on from this? So that was really hard. And we're gonna go to the main event, and this one is we were thinking about this. It's like, how is this gonna be the outcome? And you said it, and I mean, I didn't want to believe you, not because you're the best booker in the business, but it's just I'm tired of Roman Reigns winning everything. But I mean, this is the same main event. We've seen this already 3 times. This is kind of topping The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. The main event in 3
they build it as the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. And if you look at it just in their world of kayfabe, you almost have to say that it is.
Yes.
The first time titles are being unified. Both of their resumes speak for themselves. They're both 2 guys who are actually legit. It's not like Orange Cassidy or somebody was a bullshit, gimmick wrestler. These guys are both legit, and you believe it.
Yes.
And to me, the match, if you want to jump right into it,
let's do it.
Obviously it deserved to be a main event and everything. The entrances were good. Heyman does his shtick where he introduces Roman Reigns. Then Lesnar grabs the mic. He says, I'm the cowboy who's going to kick your ass and everything. And, okay, Roman was all serious. Lesnar was all smiles. He was loose. He was relaxed. So they had the different demeanors. And when this thing started, Lesnar took over. He was dominant. And then, all it took was, on the outside, Heyman, he was like, no, because, and then he kind of distracted him, spear through the barricade. Roman took over. So, it had good pacing to me in the beginning. I thought it was good, Then Superman punch hits a spear. Well, he ain't getting pinned from one spear. So he kicks out of the spear. What's Roman going to do? Lesnar takes back over, suplexes. Like you said, we always see the same things in these matches, so they never do anything that...
And it's annoying. It's very annoying.
It surprises us. So I'm thinking, what are they going to do that surprises us? They're going to have to bust something new out. That's what I was thinking. Like, maybe Roman's going to pick a Lesnar up and hit an F5, for like, try to rub his face in it. They're going to do something. We don't see that. We see the old cliche ref bump. He pushes Lesnar into the ref, but he stops himself. Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to bump you. By the time he turns around, he gets speared into the ref. So the ref takes a bump, low blow, he hits him. Oh, he's done. He goes to hit the spear. He catches him in the Kimura. Oh my God, but then he pushes the ropes. Oh no, then Roman gets the rope break. But the ref didn't see Heyman push the rope in so Roman could grab it. And, then Lesnar lets him out of it. And he picks him up for the F5. He kind of, falls back, backwards, hits the rope, hits a spear, 1, 2, 3, and it's done right like that. So to me, the match, even up until that last F5 into the spear, it was all right. I thought maybe Lesnar, I don't know if he could have leapfrogged him or did something, like maybe just, shoulder tackled him, done something instead of just, the match should have kept going. Maybe they even felt it because it didn't quite go until, it could have went maybe a little longer if let's say if they had up until midnight.
Something that like happened. I don't know if you caught up into it. Michael Coleman said it like it ended like nobody was expecting that this was how it's going to end.
Yeah, I think
like Roman did it really like the shoulder was out of the place, out of the sock. So maybe that's what it was.
That's what I mean. I think it was that. Or Roman was just selling that shoulder legit, and they just called it because they're like, "Hey man, this crowd is dead. Let's just fucking go."
Everybody.
They're like, we can't beat Stone Cold. Let's go.
Yeah, and we get this is how we ended, and like you said, these matches for me are not enjoyable just because we've seen it so many times, and it's just the same thing over and over again. It's just like finisher after finisher. Signature move after signature move. Is just nothing new, and lately the matches with Roman Reigns unfortunately are finishing in that manner. What is like, remember with John Cena?
Remember though, he was submitting a lot of guys, so at least he hit a finisher here and he won clean. There was nobody he low blowed him, but there was no Usos coming out or anything like that.
Yes.
So I don't. The only thing I want to see is the new belt. I hope it's not just the blue belt and they get rid of the black one and that's it. I hope it's a brand new design, and we haven't seen nothing leaked. Sometimes here's the new belt design.
They already tell you what's going to be. But like I said, I didn't have a lot of hope. And especially when you already predicted, you were like 9 out of 10. You're like pretty good in that. I was like and especially for me, it bothers me just the way that it ended. It just bothers me how like it ends is so anticlimactic, and I hate that. Like you said, we will hear in the dirt sheets and reports tomorrow more about it, because maybe like you said, maybe the shoulder was indeed injured or something. But in the end, he gets the win and he's the champion. He's like the most decorated man right now in the WWE. Now, who's gonna be dethroning this guy? There's only 2 guys that might be able to do that, and that's Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, or The Rock, and that will be next year. But I don't know if you're gonna keep the title on this guy another year. Because that will be, I don't think that, despite of the run and everything, he's doing his best work. I don't feel that it will be fair for anybody else. So it's about time that he, at some point, he has to drop it. He already won it, okay? Give the opportunity to somebody else.
Yeah, I guess that's why they keep us watching, and that's what we're going to have to wait and see.
Exactly. So, that's it. And Paul, let's wrap this up. WrestleMania 38 comes to an end. Thank you so very much to every single one of you for a great weekend. We had a lot of content for you guys. Thank you again for all the great reception for every single one of them. Tomorrow is going to be Monday Night Raw. Cody Rhodes is going to speak. One of the things that he's been saying in all the interviews is he wants to be champion. Hopefully Cody Rhodes gets that opportunity. Paul, your closing thoughts before we go?
Yeah, the Cody Rhodes, that would be another one that to see go after the new, undisputed, Universal Champion Roman Reigns. But WrestleMania Night 2 and 38 as a whole is in the books. And like I said in the beginning, I think Night 1 was a lot better. And I don't think they'll do it because it sells more tickets. It makes them more money. But I really wish they'd go back to just one night.
One night, yeah. I mean, the next year is going to be another 2 nights. It's going to be in Los Angeles. It's going to be Hollywood. But we'll see what happens. But, thank you, Paul. Also, I want to thank every single one of you because Paul is our third WrestleMania that we've done. We started out in the WrestleMania from the pandemic. Then we went from 37 and now 38 is in the books. Thank you so very much. Don't forget, again, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and, again, we're put the best content. And this is not the end because, we're always going to be giving you more content. So where else can they find us, Paul?
And follow us, Rope Break, on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...